Hi everybody, it's Nancy with Scrapmania, and I'm happy that you were able to use your QR code and find the link to these instructions. And you are putting together the Graphic 45 Ghostly Greetings album that is a Scrapmania exclusive that I designed, and we've kitted it up for you. I have given you very detailed instructions and what you're going to get in your kit. And there are three particular items that I wanted to touch base with you on, just because I want to make sure that you're not frustrated and this is something that you totally understand. But we are going to address the front inside cover first, because on that particular one, I cut out a frame to go around something. Now, again, the book is back at the store, so I don't have it while I was, doing this information. But I have a picture of it, and this is this really fun Boo paper back there. But then I created this border, and we're cutting that from another 8x8. So this was like one of the 8x8 pieces of paper, and so it's attached to the inside cover. But now what I'm doing is I want to create this border as an accent. This border here has been cut from this 8x8 piece of paper. And you'll find that in your paper that Graphic 45 has given a lot of this tab. On some of the plain pieces, they've actually given you the full piece, which is nice. But it tells you that what it is. This is the Ghostly Greetings No Tricks. So we're going to use this piece of paper. And I told you there were a couple of ways that you could do this. You can use a paper trimmer, or you could use like a ruler and a blade to do it. But the first thing I need to do is I need to cut off this particular, this little information tab up here, because I don't want to have to mess with trying to cut it off after I've got a flimsy frame. So I'm going to cut that off and move it to the side. So what I'm trying to achieve, like with this, is I'm trying to get this black, pull something out right here, maybe you can see it. I'm trying to achieve a little bit of a black frame, and when you actually get your paper, you'll be able to see it a little better. There's actually a kind of a row of dots. So I'm maybe getting like a 1/16 of an eighth, a 1/16 of an inch on each side. Now, I will do this. Let me see if I can find I'll do a white pen, and I'm just gonna see if I can get it to just give me a couple of those dots, so maybe you can visually see them, here on the computer. But what I'm going to do is I'm going to take this in and I'm going to put it in my trimmer. And I'm somewhat eyeballing, because what I know where my line is going to cut, and we're all going to know our own trimmers if you're using a trimmer. And what I'm trying to avoid is getting the little jagged lines and part of the prints off of these four little kind of cut apart features. So I'm coming in here, I'm looking at where I am on my this one part of my trimmer is right up against the edge of the orange, and then I'm getting this black. Okay, now what I'm doing, just because this is so tiny, I am actually going to just use some Post-it tape, and I'm kind of taping this down so that I can lift my arm. My Fiskars trimmer here has one of those little lines on it, like if you're cutting out different cut aparts, and therefore I can I see where my blade's going to be. And if you overcut, it's really not going to be that bad. And if you undercut, we can just use some scissors. So I'm just going to press down, and I am going to cut that line. Okay? Now what I'm going to do is I'm going to untape it, and I'm going to just move it around and do it again the same way. I'm trying to move my cutter out of the way so that I can actually just kind of see a little bit, and I can get in here and get my borders kind of like I'd like to see them. I am going to tape these down again just because it gives me a little extra assurance that it's not going to move when I just need to kind of lift up on this, and then I can cut my line. Okay. So far those two edges are taken their way. Okay. So we will do this one over here. I don't know what it is, why I want my trimmer blade to be at the top. But now what I'm going to do is I am doing this third side. And again, I'm using this little bit of Post-it tape here just so that I can lift this a little bit past the edge and I can pull it through. Okay. So now I did not quite get to the edge of this, which I was kind of glad that I didn't, but all I have to do is go in with my scissors and just snip that edge. So 3 of those edges I have cut with my trimmer, okay? I did mention the other way is if you're good with a blade and you like to use a blade, then you can do that. So I have one side left. Now this will be working it kind of on the backwards way because that way I see what's on this side. I don't want to put my ruler over what I'm doing. So this way I'm going to come in here and still make it even like this. And I'm going to use my blade and I'm going to cut this. Okay. Okay, I'm through there, it looks like. So I've cut that. Now again, I've not totally, looks like, met the spot up here, but I can trim that out and I can trim this piece out and no one will and never do and they'll not know any different. So there you are. I have created my framework. Now any of these edges, again, I've said in the instructions that I ink everything on my edges. I use black ink on this book. I happen to use the black soot from just the Distress, and you could use Memento. When I'm inking though, I tend to use like a dye base ink. So anything that you like to ink with, but it cleans up all this and it gives you a nice look on this book. So there's the piece that's going to go on top, what we've created that is going to lay on top of that design. Okay, so that's the first thing that I did. Now the piece that you're looking for to go in here in the center is the piece out of the lower left corner, and then you'll just trim that out. Again, you can use decorative scissors, you can use a decal edge cutter, whatever, or you can use straight edge, whatever you like. And then I would ink it, and then you'll choose a green paper out of one of your packs and you'll just mount it on that. So that's how you do that page. And again, it is laid out here in your instructions, I believe, exactly like that. But again, here's the video that's going to help you get to that point. Okay, so the next thing we're going to talk about is we're going to talk about your inserts with the windows. Now, here's an example of a window that I have. And again, this window is it's 2 pieces, 2-page book pieces that are put together, and you're going to just sandwich your acetate in the middle. So what you're going to get is you're going to get 2 of these particular pages, and there's 2 pages that are taped together. They have been punched for the holes to go in the D-rings, and your circles have been punched in there for you. Okay, they look identical when you put them together, but one of them is for page 3 and 4, and one's for 25 and 26. I centered the hole on the bottom right for the 3 and 4, and I did the hole at the top right for the page 25 and 26. Okay, so what you're going to do is you're going to separate those. You're going to get those. You're going to get 4 rings in your packet, which will go over here. I'll show you in a minute after you decorate your pages what you're going to get there. And then you are also getting a piece of the acetate, which has already got, if you can see that, the spider web already, on that. And then you are getting the piece of acetate that's already been colorized with alcohol that will go on the page 25 and 26. So you're getting all of those things that are pre-done and pre-done, pre-cut and ready for you to go and put your book together. I'm gonna move this stuff over here to show you. Also, in the instructions, you have a complete section that shows you everything that I'm going to go over with you now. Okay, so we have the pieces. I've already kind of done the one piece. I've covered my one item on the one side. But what we're going to do is we're going to take this. This is the inside of this. And we are going to take the piece of paper. I want the checks to be on the outside. So I'm going to put this on the inside of here. I'm going to center it where it's going to be. I can use some Post-it tape, or you can even get like a binder clip type of, if you like those, and you're going to turn it over and you are going to draw the circle. Okay, because we need to cut this circle out of here. Now there are 2 ways you can cut, there's 2 ways I feel that I can cut this out. So you could probably come up with another way, but we're going to cut this circle out. You can, if you have stacking circle dies, you have dies this size. This die is, I have a stacking, these are Hero Arts one. This is a 3 3/4 inch circle. So if you have a 3 3/4 inch circle die, you can just take this, run it to your die cut machine, and cut it out. Well, you don't have that, okay? So we're just gonna poke a hole in here with our scissors, and we're gonna cut it out by hand, which isn't very difficult. And I'm cutting it out, and I'm cutting it out on the line or just to the left of the line. I'm cutting counterclockwise. I have no idea. If you were to cut the other way, you're going to cut just to the right of the line. So you want to be on the inside of the circle, okay? I don't cut very well that way. I do better this way. And again, if anybody has fussy cut before, it's turning the paper is an easy way to fussy cut. People sometimes have, don't turn your hands, turn the paper. Okay, so that's done. So we've got that cut. Now again, I would ink up all my edges and everything when I get to that point. Okay, so what we can do is we can now put this piece on the front of our page. So you can, putting it on there is basically whatever your favorite adhesive is. I use an ATG gun. You could use liquid glue if you want something like that. And I'm just putting a little bit extra around that circle just so it sticks down. And again, I'm going to put this around here. I'm matching my circle. I'm looking at my borders around the edges, and I'm just putting that down. Okay? And again, if you're a tiny bit off, it's not going to make a difference. We have something that's going to highlight. Like I'm kind of crooked on this, and I can take this back up again. Looks like my border's crooked a teeny bit. And I can try to take it up. But I'm not as worried about this since it's actually just a sample for you guys. But I can get it back up. I can remove my ATG pretty easily. But it's a little bit crooked. So we'll just, try to straighten it out just a little bit. for you if I did. Okay, so now I have my 2 pieces. Okay, I have 2 of these pieces. I need to get my acetate window in here. So what I'm going to do is on the inside of here, I am going to put, like, I'm going to use the ATG because I know that's going to work around here. And I am just putting some ATG around that hole so that I can take and I can adhere my acetate into there. Okay? So now what I need to do is I need to put my 2 pieces together. So again, you might like to use like liquid adhesive, score tape, whatever's good for you. But I'm going to basically put that around. You can trim this off a little bit if you like, but I'm just kind of going over it with my ATG gun. Now I need to put these 2 pieces together. And I'm kind of down here in this corner, matching them up. I'm looking at my holes as for what they're looking like and adding that and putting it together. Okay, so now we've got our panel done. So as I told you, I'm not going to glue these on there. I did use liquid, but what you've also got to finish this off is you've got rings like this that you'll put on just to finish those up. So these are actually some of the pictures. Like this is what page 3 looks like. It's a vertical stripe. And then this is what page 4 looks like. It's like that red print. And then you've got the circles there. So then you get them to the point that what you're going to do is you're going to I added the flying witch on the broom and a spider on page 3. And then on page 4, you have the pumpkins and a hat. You are going to do the exact same thing for the other 2 pages, which are 25 and 26. And that's the one where you have the, I've given you the acetate with the alcohol on there, and you're going to put those together exactly the same way. It's just the circles in the top. Okay, or you can put it in the bottom if you'd like, but that's what they are. So they're put together the exact same way. Okay, so those are the window pages. The last thing I wanted to address is this is page 29. It's one of the next to the last things in your book, and this is a pocket page, and what I have here is I just took a piece of paper, and you have fold outs in the book, okay? We have a couple of flips, we have different flips, but this is one of the flip pages like this. So it's about like 6 and about a quarter all the way to the edge, but there is a score line already there. So I went ahead and folded it. Now what I'm gonna do from the score line to 3.5 inches, I'm going to make another score line, okay? Or it would be 2.5 from this side, okay? So this is a 1/6 inch width. So I'm going to put another score line in. I'm going to fold this to the left, and I'm going to fold this back out to the right, okay? And what I'm doing is I am creating 2 pockets. This is a narrow pocket this way, and this is a deeper pocket this way, okay? So we created an extra pocket page. What you're going to do is you're going to take all of your papers per the instructions, and you're going to put them on. Like this piece isn't going to go all the way under. So you're going to put your papers on and decorate everything up. This particular top section here, you have a stripe piece, and we're also picking up another small piece just to finish out the edge. And you have some lacy trim, and this is the thinner lacy trim. You're going to attach that on. So decorate all of the pages up. Then I use an 1/8 inch score tape. Again, however you make pocket pages, what you're going to do is you're going to open this up, and you are going to put tape from here to here to create that, and then you're going to put your tape at the bottom, okay? And then you're going to close it, and that's going to create a pocket. So then you're going to have this page and you're going to do the same thing. You're going to put tape here and you're going to put tape here, and then you're going to close it up, and that will create the 2 pockets that you need. So I hope that that is clear, at least on here. You have the instructions again in the book for you. Plus, I mean, I didn't do a big picture, but that shows you that we've got pockets that I just kind of put some extra pictures in. So it was, you know, something easy to do. So you have good instructions. You will have my email address if you need to get in touch with me for this project. And I hope you're having a good time with the book. And if you have any questions, please don't hesitate to get in touch with me. Thanks for playing with this album.